Hi Matt, I wanted to share with you my solution to keeping warm in the winter. This is a waste oil burning heater. I'm a mechanic, so I get plenty of oil to burn off, and this is my solution to getting rid of it and keeping warm. I tend to work out here. It's the alley behind my house. From time to time, because I haven't any room in the garage, it's full of rubbish. And this just takes the edge off it. What we've got is two Calor gas tanks welded together in the centre. You probably don't even need that, you could get away with one. I added inspection glass and a door so that you can take it apart and clean it. So it's 4 or 5 years old now, and it stays out here, so it's quite rusty. Door lifts off. It's just on a pair of drop hinges that are made up, so you can, should you wish to, you can lift it off. And obviously just little fasteners. They've lasted much longer than I expected them to. The oil reservoir, steampunky oil reservoir. There you go, is an old exhaust with the one end cut out of it, and then just tabs welded between the tank and the exhaust. Purpose of mounting it to the side of the tank is to just preheat the oil just a touch. Not enough to make it ignite, but enough to get it nice and warm. Helps with the burn. The fuel delivery system is just some 8mm microbore copper that drops down through one of the holes in this original brake disc that I had knocking about, and a pipe with a few holes drilled in it to get some airflow, and just a normal 8mm copper tap, just come gravity fed. You turn it to start the oil flow. The burn chamber, which I've just had to repair, is just an old aluminium pan, and it's just a couple of tabs welded to the bottom of the brake disc in order to hold it in place. Those are the bits I've just repaired, because it sits outside all the time. Kind of the weather gets to the disc and rots the first layer of metal away, and then my tabs came with it. This time I've ground further into the metal and done a more substantial weld with thicker thicker tabs, so that should stay on now. But yeah, essentially that's the working principle behind it. I'll show you how I fire it up and run it. So we've got waste oil, we've got waste diesel fuel. There's all kinds of diesel, petrol all mixed in there that's come out of fuel filters, etc. I just keep it for this purpose. So put in a good splash of oil. Yeah, good bit. Then goes in a good splash of waste fuel. Just get it to ignite, helps it fire, and then we use a wick just to get the thing going as well, which is just an old piece of blue roll that I've already used. Stick that in there and it wicks it up. Then the pan slides in. This could be interesting one-handed. Got it all over my finger. Yeah, pan slides in. Great stuff. And then heat the aluminium pan a little bit underneath, just to get some warmth in there as well. Sorry, my camera works rubbish. What do you expect with Android phone? Right, that's got that going. And then we'll turn on the fuel tap. Been running for like sort of 5-10 minutes tops. It's probably, I'd say that's up to temperature now. does put out just a tiny little puff of smoke. If you had a longer chimney, you'd get a better draw, and you literally, it would burn completely cleanly. This is burning not too bad, considering that's waste oil that's burning. You know, the output is minimal, but I will elongate the chimney at some point, because it will eradicate, it'll create an even cleaner burn. But it is very efficient. It burns about 1 litre an hour, and it puts out some serious heat. I'm stood maybe 1.5 meters away from it. I can feel the heat off it. It really does do a good job. So let's just check with the heat gun. So there we're getting sort of 503 degrees C. Yeah, around about the 500s. Then if we go up to the top of the tank's kicking out about 300 degrees C. Top of the exhaust, chimney, whatever you want to call it, 140. And then the coolant, sorry, the oil reservoir. See, that doesn't get too hot, which is good. But it does preheat the oil, which is fantastic. Only considerations with this is the oil has to be free of water, because otherwise, as we all know, oil and water don't mix, and it gets very exciting when that happens. So that's one to watch. And you can just see that the flow rate is just like a drip every second. I mean, I could put the flow rate. It's not right at full whack. I could turn that up so it's a steady, thin stream, but it burns nicely like that. So yeah, that's my solution, because the large companies won't take the amount of oil I've got to get rid of, and obviously you can't take commercial waste down the local tip. So I was stuck in a situation where I had way too much waste oil and nobody wanting to help me with it. So one, I'm recycling the oil to create heat, which is a good thing, I suppose. And two, it resolves the problem that I was having with trying to get rid of my waste oil responsibly. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you, because perhaps it's something, it might give you an idea in order to heat the cowshed. Also, like I say, it's not particularly windy day today, and the thing's kind of shrouded, so it's not really getting massive airflow. You could introduce compressed air at a low CFM, which would create again an even cleaner burn, and probably supercharge the thing. But it does what I need it to do. And you wouldn't need a huge chimney up the side of your building for it to burn reasonably well and give you a decent amount of heat. So yeah, I just thought I'd share my oil dipstick to check the level of oil in the burn chamber. It's just this little bit of scrap metal that I've bent to the correct shape. What I do is I put it into one of the holes in the burn chamber, make sure it touches the bottom of the pan, and then I just check the level of oil just to make sure that it's not getting too high, because obviously you don't want the oil coming out the top of the pan, and adjust it with the tap as necessary if it's getting a little bit too crazy. Yeah, that's all that's left at the end of the burn in the pan, and that can just be knocked into the bin once it's cooled down.